Okay, we're recording. So, no lights, camera, action.
Fade in. Interior Berlin train station morning. Extremely active train platform. A sign reads Platform 18, Eurostar, Copenhagen. Passengers wheel luggage briskly to their coaches. Platform announcement. Train whistles from the arriving and departing trains are heard over the sounds of passengers moving from platform to platform. Brittany makes her way past other passengers, albeit less gracefully than she might have opted for. As she walks through the parlor coach, she checks her ticket against her seat numbers. She arrives at her seat, sets her backpack down, and looks at the passenger sitting next to her. Another passenger seated across from seat number. She blows a strand of hair off her forehead and tries to lift her backpack to the overhead bin. The passenger sits in seat C. He's watching Brittany struggle with her backpack.
You need help with that?
Thank you. I packed light.
Brittany pulls a magazine out of her backpack, drops it on her seat, and puts the backpack into the overhead bin as the Eurostar glides out of the Berlin Central train station.
I detected an American accent. First trip abroad?
Yeah, is it that obvious?
I don't mean to pry. What is your name?
Not at all. It's Brittany.
Glad to meet you, Brittany.
Likewise.
Mind if I ask where you're from?
I'm from Southern California area. And you?
I live in Copenhagen now, but I spent some time in the US a long time ago. I raced Formula One cars in Long Beach.
I'm from Long Beach. How funny. You know, when I was a little girl living with my dad, I vaguely remember meeting someone like you. His name was Nick Stringer.
I'm Nick Stringer. This is bullshit. Not in a million years. You were one of my dad's best friends.
Stringer has an epiphany and is visually moved.
Brittany, now I remember you. Your dad paraded you up and down the beach. He was very proud. My girlfriend and I were sunning aboard my yacht during this Monaco Grand Prix. Your dad and two other blokes asked me if I could help them find a gentleman by the name of Nick Stringer. I said, "You're looking at him."
Yeah, my dad never shies away from meeting some of the most interesting people on earth.
I stayed with your dad every time I visited LA. My first and last ride was Long Beach. One of my best friends, Ricardo Baltoni, was almost killed. We managed to pull him out of his car, but he paid the price. He's been in a wheelchair ever since.
Flashback video. Exterior Long Beach Grand Prix, afternoon 1980. 1980 Long Beach Grand Prix film clip. The roar of the Formula One race cars are racing. Long Beach Grand Prix. Formula One cars are flying around the streets of the city. The city is filled with race enthusiasts from all parts of the world. The grandstands are full of excitement, anticipating the green flag that will start the Long Beach Grand Prix.
You can't imagine the adrenaline rush when you're sitting behind the wheel of a Formula One car. As a little kid, I grew up following race car drivers, always thinking I would someday drive a Ferrari and become famous.
We see an aerial shot of the Long Beach Grand Prix, then a helmet-mounted camera on the Stringer's driving his Formula One car around the tight hairpin on Shoreline and Ocean Boulevard. Split screen, Monaco and Long Beach hairpin.
This hairpin is more dangerous than Monaco, slowing down to 35 miles per hour, then accelerating like a sling rocket to more than 160 miles per hour down Shoreline Drive. It's the 54th lap. My old pal Baltoni is 4 seconds ahead of me. Then all hell breaks loose. Baltoni's brake pedal malfunctions. He drove through the dead-end escape where his car hit a tire barrier. Then he hit a concrete wall at full speed.
Stock footage of the 1980 Long Beach Grand Prix crash.
Ricardo Baltoni has crashed into a hairpin barrier. Flames are shooting out of his race car. Emergency crews are approaching, and driver Nick Stringer has pulled over directly behind Baltoni. Stringer has Baltoni in his grasp, but the flames are too intense. Stringer's suit is on fire as he tried to pull Baltoni out of his car. Firefighters and medics have arrived. Nick Stringer may have saved Ricardo Baltoni from a fiery death.
Interior Long Beach, ambulance afternoon. Baltoni is laying on a stretcher. Stringer is sitting alongside with a bandage covering third-degree burns. Paramedics work to save Baltoni's life. The accident left Baltoni paralyzed from the waist down. 10 years later, stock footage of Desert Storm. Stringer, VO.
I retired from racing. I joined N5. That's where I met my future partners. The CIA needed a few nut jobs to hide under a bunker in the Saudi desert. M5 volunteered my services. I monitored enemy troop movements from an underground bunker in the Saudi desert near Kuwait. I was the CIA's eyes and ears on the ground floor.
Film of London nightclub scenes.
After the war, we all partied at different London nightclubs. I was a celebrity. I enthusiastically accepted my first covert operation as a paid mercenary. The South African government needed to eliminate the threat from insurgents. Very lucrative, killing terrorists for fun and profit.
Stock footage at the Legends nightclub in London. Stringer sits in a booth talking war stories and surrounded by celebrities and friends, toasting his exploits. Interior, Eurostar, late afternoon. They continue talking. The Eurostar is moving fast. Small villages, farms are flashing by the coach window.
At the time, I worked various jobs for various governments.
I remember my dad telling me that you were some type of secret agent catching diamond smugglers.
I was what you might call a problem solver. Some things I was proud, others we won't talk about.
The Eurostar is now traveling at a high rate of speed. The countryside is speeding by the coach windows. Stringer, voiceover.
At the time, it was all fun and profit. Mostly profit.
Exterior South Africa, Johannesburg Airport, day. A small private jet flies low into Johannesburg International Airport. Stringer passes quickly through the security checkpoints. He's on the curb waiting for his pickup. A banged-up black four-door Chevy with an Uber sign in the front window, wearing paint skids on its doors, arrives. The car stops and the driver waves Stringer in.
Where to, Mr. Stringer?
We've been here before, you crazy son of a bitch. Daniel, how have you been?
I suppose you're chasing bad people again.
Don't know yet.
Ariel as Daniel drives through the slum areas of Johannesburg. He tells Stringer of someone on a motorcycle is about 50 feet behind him.
Someone's following us.
Friend of yours?
I don't think so. He's coming up alongside.
The driver of the motorcycle throws an envelope into Daniel's car.
It's got your name on it, Stringer.
Let's have a look.
Stringer opens the envelope. It has a picture of the Melima Shandika, the intelligence officer Stringer's about to meet. It shows him standing in the jungle with a man in a gray beret, exchanging handshakes. Stringer hands the picture to Daniel while he is driving. Daniel recognizes the friend.
The man on the left in the army uniform is shaking hands with the head of an anti-government group called the NAC. They want to eliminate whites in South Africa.
I'm meeting with Shandeka tomorrow.
Stringer, beware, my friend. He is a ruthless man. Nothing stands in his way.
Got it. Drop me off at La Casa.
Got it, boss.
The cab is weaving in and out of crowded streets filled with tourists and vendors.
I need a favor. Can you get your hands on an MP5A3 with a retractable stock?
How soon do you need it?
Yesterday.
One quick stop.
Stringer hands Daniel a wad of $100 bills. Daniel stops at a shabby slum warehouse, scribbles a note to his friend in front of the warehouse, and within minutes, he produces an MP5A3 with a retractable stock.
Daniel, you are the man, mate.
I'm your driver, right, man?
Couldn't do it without you, Daniel.
They arrive at the La Casa Hotel. A young bellhop opens Stringer's door. Stringer carries his own small suitcases, walks to the check-in counter, and scopes out the lobby. An attractive hotel receptionist in very short skirt and mid-20s, a dark hair, very attractive, looks at Stringer's papers, gives him keys to a second-floor room overlooking the street.
I'll be up later to stock your refrigerator and turn up your bed.
Very nice of you. Bring up a bottle of Dewar's if you can.
Absolutely.
She gives him the keys. Second floor overlooking the busy street. Stringer settles in his room and checks out the ammo and revolver. Ready for any funny business, he puts the revolver under the pillow. Stringer is on his phone, checking his messages. He hears a knock at the door.
Mr. Stringer, am I interrupting anything?
Not at all. Come in.
I've got your doors and I'm ready to get your bed ready.
She stocks the hotel suite refrigerator. Stringer is looking at his phone. The receptionist is bent over, fluffing up his pillow, turning his sheets, and half of her lower body is facing Stringer. A bright-colored thong is facing him. She looks back and sees Stringer admiring her bum.
Is there anything else I can do for you? My replacement has arrived and I'm off work at this moment.
No. Since you're off work, would you care to have a drink?
Not at all. Doors would be fine.
Stringer prepares 2 glasses with ice and pours the Irish whiskey, hands a glass to the receptionist.
Bottoms up. And I do mean bottoms up.
Fade out. Exterior Johannesburg, La Casa Hotel, morning. Stringer walks by the receptionist and winks, leaves the lobby, and Daniel and his cab are waiting outside. Daniel takes him on a wild ride through the slums of Johannesburg. They pass hundreds of tourists and vendors along the way. They arrive at Malema Shandika's office. Malema Shandika, head of the South Africa's Secret Service, has requested help from the CIA to retrieve $100 million in diamonds stolen from a safe place deep in South African jungle. Colonel Hackman has scheduled Stringer to meet with Malema Shandika at his private office in Johannesburg to coordinate the operation. Well, Mr. Stringer, you come highly recommended. We'll pay you handsomely if you recover the diamonds.
How will I know they have all the diamonds?
The diamonds are in a metal case made of material even these scoundrels can't open. Your job is to recover the diamonds and bring them back with the identification papers of the diamond thieves. For that small mission, you'll receive a handsome paycheck.
What are we talking about, Mr. Shandeka? What kind of money are we talking about?
Well, if you return with the diamonds and do not tamper with the merchandise, I can guarantee you $250,000 for your service.
My life is worth more than $250,000. Let's make it $750,000 after all. I'm risking my precious reputation, and my girlfriend would not be happy if I didn't return.
$500,000 is my offer.
Let's do what we call in London pubs and Indian trade. $675,000 and a friendship that will last forever.
My friend, you drive a hard bargain. An Indian trade, huh? Okay, my friend. The choppers will be ready for you within 24 hours.
I'll need high-velocity grenades, 2 MP5A laser rifles with 8 gun stocks, 2 body armor suits, 4 Glocks 17s, and a Ronnie G1 modified rifle.
We know where the diamond thieves are. I'll give you an update when you receive the equipment you requested. It'll be waiting for you within the next 16 hours.
It's been nice doing business with you. Here's my bank account number. Please deposit $300,000 before I leave, and I'll collect the rest when I complete the job.
Deal. The conversation ends. Stringer leaves with the Uber driver, Daniel Malema Shandika, and calls one of his lieutenants. I want you to shadow this Mr. Stringer. I'm not sure if I trust him with the diamonds. Now, if you would, I'd like you to assign 2 of your best men, and if he does not appear unloyal, we'll deal with that when the time comes. Daniel drives Stringer back to his hotel. He looks out the window and his phone beeps. A message from his private bank account, $300,000 deposited.
What do you know about this Malema Shandeka character?
He's a corrupt military officer. He has been involved in a lot of shady deals. He's not to be trusted.
Stringer's phone rings. He tips Daniel, walks through the hotel lobby, nods at the cute receptionist, walks up the stairs to his hotel room while talking to Kelly O'Day.
How are things in South Africa?
The food sucks, the weather's miserable. Other than that, everything's just fine.
I'll tell the Colonel you're on the line.
Hackman!
Tell me about this Malema Shandeka. We worked out a deal to recover the diamonds for the government. I'm not sure where this is going, but I'll do the job.
Flashback, exterior Saudi desert. The bunker, day. The Iraqi soldiers in buses, cars, and tanks are desert storming their asses back to Hussein in his cushy palace.
So you jump to the middle of page 13. This script's a little different.
See this?
Our scripts are a little different. Oh, you're on page 13. What happened to page 12?
Yeah.
Why don't you hand him page 12?
We're
Oh.
right.
continue.
This over here.
Back here, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Just start at the top of page 12.
12.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's read a couple pages again.
Straight ones.
Stringer walks to the window when he talks to Colonel Heckman. Stringer spots two men sitting outside a coffee shop, eyes glued to his flat.
The bastard is tailing me.
You know how to handle a situation? Keep me in the loop. Stringer leaves through the back door of the hotel. The circles are on the block and is now behind the two suspicious characters.
Pardon me. Do you two gentlemen have a light?
Startled, the two men take a hasty retreat. Exterior La Casa Hotel, morning. Stringer exits Hotel Daniel. The Uberman is waiting to take him to an airfield outside Johannesburg. Daniel drives up to a military chopper, acknowledges the two contract British snipers that will guard the chopper doors. A trained German Shepherd guard dog greets Stringer. The dog is trained to acknowledge hand signals and it's time to rumble. The camouflage chopper travels about the busy city, weaving in and out of hilltops, skimming across jungle tree lines. Chopper blades become louder. Two well-built military snipers hold Kashidoviga pointed at the jungle floor. Stringer is attending to his camera, just to his German Shepherd, and we see Stringer daydreaming, lost in thought. Flashback. Stop. Desert Storm, Highway of Death. Film of tanks, aircraft bombing enemy troops withdrawing from Kuwait.
We were not big fans of calling out the hellstorm that killed thousands of enemy troops. They had families. But in war, there are winners and losers. Our side just happened to be winners. My team included Johnny Morris, ex-MI5